All right, we are live here. It is so weird looking at myself right now while doing this, but hello everyone and good afternoon. This is Tia from Geek Vibes Nation, and it is the first edition of Tea Time with Tia. I know that's a little bit of a cheesy title for a video for myself, but hey, it makes sense, and I'm having tea right now. You can see. Tea. Okay. Really corny, but while we're all in this self-isolation binge right now, obviously we're watching more movies, we're watching more TV shows. I certainly have. I'm sure that you guys have as well. And new content is kind of hard to come up with because everything is coming to a standstill. Production on movies, production on TV shows, they're all ending with the coronavirus. So it's honestly hard to review new things. So I've been watching a lot of stuff that's been coming out, that came out the past few years. And one of them, which just watched today, which I don't know what's showing back there, but and there's Polly. One of the things that we literally just watched was 2018's Venom, starring Tom Hardy. And the whole thing is that it was a financial success, but then it kind of was not a critical success. And there's a lot of people out there who are saying that it wasn't very good. And honestly, yeah, at the time when I saw it, it did have some, errors to it that they could have fine-tuned and everything. But upon rewatching it just about maybe like 20 minutes ago, I actually still really liked it. I didn't really see what the big deal was among like fans and critics where they weren't necessarily into it. I thought that Tom Hardy did a really good job. I thought that the storyline was okay. I mean, when I say that it was okay, it's an origin story. So it's not going to be, say, like Avengers, Infinity War, Endgame level. It hasn't gotten there yet. It's literally just, it was starting off the Sony Venom verse. So we're given this introduction into the live action version of, Venom. And so, all right, let's start first of all with the obvious critique. Tom Hardy's Brooklyn accent was not very good. And I'm a huge fan of Tom Hardy. I think that he can pretty much play anything. He's the type of actor that really just delves into stories, but I don't think that his accent was that good. It kind of reminds me of Benedict Cumberbatch's accent as Stephen Strange. Great actors. I love the way that they play the characters, but they honestly need to work a little bit more on their American accents. But besides that, I thought Tom Hardy was great. I was talking about it with Paulie, that I can't see anyone else playing Eddie Brock other than Tom Hardy. I thought that he did a really good job. I think I had heard something and I have to kind of, sorry about that. I didn't realize my phone was on sound, but I think I have to look it up, and I probably should have before this, but I think that Tom Hardy didn't necessarily want to play other comic book characters after he did Bane in The Dark Knight Rises, but apparently his kid really likes Venom. So when he was, approached with that role, then he was like, okay, fine, I'll take it. My kids obviously love it. And I think he did a really phenomenal job with what he was given. I just, if you were someone who had an alien symbiote in him and didn't even know what the hell was going on, you too would freak out. And that's what we obviously see Tom Hardy kind of contending with for probably the first quarter, the first half hour or so, or first half, I should say, of the movie. And then it's not going to be this harmonious relationship at first. So I kind of like that. And it was something that I pointed out to Paulie when we were watching it, is that I don't know why I thought that Venom should speak a little bit more eloquently, I guess, because he is an alien. I just thought that they would have maybe a more educated way of speaking, but he kind of was like, dude, and, oh, I like this shit and everything. So I just thought that that was really funny. But I kind of like, I just like the way that Venom talked, like, and how he kind of was like, oh, you were a loser, I'm a loser too. I'm sorry, what did you say, Paulie? Paulie doesn't want to be on the show right now, but he obviously is giving me some feedback. And as he said that so what he was saying, if you guys didn't hear that, was that Venom pretty much was just emulating the way that Eddie Brock was speaking, which would make sense. I'm sure that on whatever planet they come from, which I don't believe was really established, and maybe I just wasn't paying attention or something, but they probably speak something completely different, probably not even English, because why would an alien race speak English? But most likely to just emulate whomever they're embodying. I didn't really pay attention to the way Riot spoke to see if he was kind of, taking on the way that his host spoke, but I think that that's how Venom was. But I don't know. I really liked it. What's funny is that, hang on, I'm just going to take a sip of my tea because it's tea time with Tia. So normally I would have contacts on, but since we're all self-isolating, I was like, I'm not putting my contacts in. But I did do my makeup, which is by Jeffree Star, the Bloodlust palette. No, obviously this is not sponsored. This is literally my first video, but I just really like Jeffree Star's stuff. So I will probably always wear his makeup on these videos. But anyway, sorry. Where was I at even with this? Venom's language. Yeah. Oh, this is what I was going to get at. When we first went to go see the movie back in 2018, for some reason on the big screen, it seems like the CGI wasn't that great. But when we were watching it on this TV right there on Hulu, I didn't find the CGI as terrible as before, maybe because I went back and rewatched other things that the CGI was terrible, and in comparison, I mean, really just wasn't that bad as I thought it was. Looking back on it, I think probably the one thing that I had the most problem with in Venom was Michelle Williams' character. She's a fine actress. I watched the Fosse Vernon show that she was in and that I believe that she won an award for, but I liked Sam Rockwell in that more than I liked her character. So she's fine. I remember when they casted her, I thought that that was a little bit of a weird casting. I can't really see her in this universe. So her relationship with Eddie was whatever. It felt like at times that they were trying to go for, like, say, an Ant-Man Scott Lang relationship, but I think that works, like having Scott with his ex, but also having a good relationship now with his ex's new husband. Like, that's a fine formula, and that's something that does need to be represented in film because, that's what modern families are like. But I just didn't see that in Michelle Williams' character, that dynamic. Like I was saying to Paulie, if anything, I wanted to see Eddie and Michelle Williams' character, Newman, be friends instead and just kind of like whatever with Michelle Williams, which, in these superhero movies, like we have to have, I guess, a character like hers. It very much reminded me of Amy Adams' character as Lois Lane in Batman vs. Superman. It's like while the epic battle is happening, suddenly, randomly, they have to run in and feel like they're a part of it. And it's like, I don't know, I just don't find it that way. Like, give me obviously female, empowered characters, but if it doesn't make sense for her to just run around and push a button, I just don't like that. Like, it's the same thing why I don't like Jane in the Thor movies. Give me a Black Widow. Give me an Okoye. Like, give me one of those characters. But if you're not going to give me that character, like, it's fine for her to just kind of be like a normal human being and not have to necessarily get involved, because it just feels unrealistic. Like, while these two symbiotes are fighting, she's running after them or something. I don't know. I just didn't necessarily find that any sort of substance when it came to the story. But that aside, it was humorous to me. It was enjoyable to watch. I'm super excited for Venom 2, which obviously will star Woody Harrelson. I know that they were in production at some point. There was obviously, if you guys follow us at, Twitter, Geek Vibes Nation, we posted the set photos of Woody Harrelson as Carnage, with very strange orange looking hair. I don't know what's worse, the hair from those set photos or the clown wig that they had at the end of the movie of the first Venom. But I'm willing to forego a terrible wig because it's Woody Harrelson. He's a really good actor. Recently, we actually just watched the first season of True Detective with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey, and I was just blown away with it. So it made me even more excited that we get to see Woody in Venom 2. And especially since it's directed by Andy Serkis, who, if you don't know who Andy Serkis is, he's been in 1,000 things. You know, he was in Black Panther. He's going to be in Matt Reeves' The Batman. He's been in the Planet of the Apes movies. He's been in everything. I mean, that man. So it's cool that he is directing Venom 2, but I don't believe that it finished. And I could be wrong here, guys. I'm just spitballing, but I don't believe that it finished production before everything got shut down due to the coronavirus outbreak. I mean, obviously, that's why Black Widow's release date got pushed indefinitely. That's why New Mutants got pushed. We're still seeing whether or not Wonder Woman 1984 is going to get pushed. So obviously, the COVID-19 outbreak has really kind of like stalled a lot of shit happening. Hang on. But we'll have to see with that. It's interesting because I think when Sony first announced that they were doing Venom, we all kind of scoffed at it, because from what I remember, prior to them releasing Venom, it was one of those things where Sony was like, we're kind of staking everything on Venom, and if it doesn't do well, then we're going to have to probably sell. And Venom, as I said before, was a huge financial success. I believe making something like $800 million worldwide, and that was something that no one really expected for it to do. So it put a lot of money in Sony's pocket, and I think that it kind of showed Sony that they can still be in this. Now, personally, I don't think that they're as strong as Disney's Marvel Cinematic Universe, and that's just me. There are some people who hate the Marvel Cinematic Universe. There are some people who absolutely hate Tom Holland's Spider-Man, who were joyous over the potential of Disney not having any sort of rights to that anymore. And I'm just like, if you don't think that Peter Parker in the Marvel Cinematic Universe isn't one of the best things to happen to the MCU, we can't be friends. I'm sorry. But I would like to see things become more, merged with each other, which I believe is going to start happening with the upcoming Morbius movie, which actually looks pretty good, actually. People are kind of divided on Jared Leto after his performance as the Joker in Suicide Squad. And if you know me, I really like Suicide Squad, so I thought his Joker was just fine. Obviously, Heath Ledger's was better. Obviously, Joaquin Phoenix did a phenomenal job in his Joker. But guys, Jared Leto had like 10 to 15 minutes to show his Joker. That's not nearly as much as Phoenix or Ledger got, but that's a whole topic altogether. My point is, people are on the fence of Jared Leto, but from what we saw from the trailer of Morbius, I thought looked really cool. It obviously is tying into things that are in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, like when Jared Leto walked, past a wall and it had Spider-Man's like image on it, said murder on it. Like, doesn't matter that image was, from Spider-Man 4, the video game, and yada yada. It wasn't Tom Holland's Spider-Man. That obviously directly connects to the end of Far From Home when Peter Parker was accused of killing Mysterio. And then so we have that. And then at the end of Morbius, we have Vulture, Michael Keaton. So that's all tying in. And so I think that if Sony's willing to make those steps with Morbius, we may see that more with Venom, which I would like to see that. I would definitely love to see Tom Hardy's Venom and Tom Holland's Spider-Man together. I think that would just be really freaking cool. So I'm excited for Venom 2. I would love to hear what you guys think of the first Venom. I think with movies like this, it's one of those things. I also believe it's the same thing with Suicide Squad, and I know I'm going to get flack for that, and I do regularly from Geek Vibes Nation. Don't worry, but I just think it's one of those things that because other people think it's bad, you have to believe that it's bad. And I don't think that should be the case. If you enjoyed the movie, then you enjoyed the movie, and that's all there is to it. So I really liked the first Venom. Tom Hardy is a great Eddie Brock. I'm excited to see where they go with it. Hopefully we'll get more news as everything kind of clears with this coronavirus thing. But hey, while you're self-isolating, you have plenty of time to go back, watch the first Venom, and kind of see that probably you liked it more than you thought you did because everyone at the time was telling you how much you should dislike it. But I hope that this was a pretty good first tea time with Tia. You can check us out, geek5snation.com. We are on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Me personally, I'm on Twitter and Instagram, Tia Fabi. I post plenty of articles, blog posts. Those are the same things. But I also do podcasts. Every Sunday I do the top 10 with Tia. So obviously try and get my name into everything that I do. But yeah, so make sure you check that out as well. We're doing it tomorrow. And we're going to do the top 10 best movies to watch while quarantined. So thank you very much. Please give this video a like and let me know what you enjoyed about the first Venom. And see ya. End.